How are you?
That's a nice win.
Nice one. We just counted up 66 minutes in the first round, 74-ish in that one. Going well.
Yeah, it's going all right, you know. I was pleased to get through today, which was nice. I felt a bit for Tiang, you know, he didn't get much going for him today, so, you know, he's a very good friend of mine, so, you know, it's always horrible to see a good friend struggle out there. Any student player struggling, you know how difficult it can be, but, you know, it's just one of those days, isn't it?
It was quite strange to get. I mean, you know, looking as a player, the last frame you felt obviously like he wasn't really firing. You went for that blue. We haven't talked about him.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised he didn't go in. Back on the practice table.
Actually, I've just been talking to Steve about when you feel so comfortable at an event like you do in this one. How do you prepare? Are your preparations for a major like this, do they change, Ronnie, or is it just more of the same for you in the build-up to it?
Well, I only practice, you know, between 6 and 10 hours a week, so, you know, my preparation doesn't change for any tournament, you know, I think for me, the key is just diversifying myself, so as at least if I come here and I don't get a result, whatever, I'm not sitting at home watching it on TV and waiting for the next one to come around. You know, I have a few different things going on, which kind of makes this much more of a hobby and play for a passion, you know, rather than play for to try and pay bills, you know.
That's a nice situation to be in as well. I mean, I was chatting to you yesterday, bumped into you in the town, and yeah, you're starting to trying to get back into a bit more competitive running. That'd be.
Yeah, I've got a bit of weight on, you know. And I was watching the TV, I'm starting to get chubby chops. The scales are not looking too good, and I'm like, you know, I'm gonna have to try and do something about this.
But you're running again, aren't you?
Yeah,
but that's good if you come up here. Like, so, you know, one of the things, the problem is hanging around. But it's good to come up here.
I love hanging around though, because I've got things to do, you know.
But you can come up here and phone up somebody in the running community, go out, and take your mind, you know, just to do something as another hobby. It's a great thing to have in your arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, I've got so many things to do, you know, in between matches that sometimes the snooker gets in the way of it, you know, but it doesn't, you know, because this is snooker week, but obviously I bring whatever I've got at home with me away, so I'm, you know, maximising my time with all the other bits.
6 to 10 hours a week,
Yeah, I write a snooker diary, and I just find that, you know, I don't need to do any more than that. You know, I probably would be a little bit better if I'd done more, but you know, you have to value your time to the output, to what you get for it, and I just kind of just think it just works pretty well for me. You know?
Yeah, we've just been talking, I can't believe it's a year since we were here last year.
Someone like Steve would have to put 6 hours a day just to feel not guilty.
Yeah, the guilt
the
guilt thing's a problem, but there again, I think you've got to also keep your motivation within the game, and as you get, the longer you've been in it, that motivation is tough, so to keep yourself fresh is not a bad thing.
Well, actually...
I don't feel guilty about doing 6 to 10 hours a week.
You don't have to, because let's be honest, you're the owner of 19 majors, and we were just thinking last year about that fantastic evening that we all shared in there with you, and you were up on there, and we think we've very rarely seen you let go like that and celebrate. Can you think back on that night and how significant that moment really is, still in retrospect for you?
Not really, just kind of it's a distant sort of memory now, you know. It happens, it comes so quick and it's over so quick. You know, it's just a nice milestone, I suppose, for me to break an important record, you know, because there's lots of records, but there's only a few important ones. So for me, that was kind of nice, you know. I don't need other people's affirmation then to put me along the likes of Steve and Stephen Hendricks. Kind of the facts speak for itself. So, you know, there's maybe 2 or 3 important records out there, and I've got one of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, still on for winning the whole tournament without losing a frame. There you go.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Actually, I don't know if you're aware of this. We've been having a bit of a laugh and a joke about it, but you've just equalled this man's overall match wins in the UK Championship. 89 win today.
Yeah, but I think you have to look at how many matches I've played compared to Steve to compare records, you know, because if I'd played maybe double the amount of matches Steve had played, and, you know, then I'd be like a journeyman that just turned up week in, week out just to grab the statistics. You know, it's all about the wins, and it's you know, I always look at it like the averages, you know, and if I've won more matches in less matches than Steve's played, then I'll go, okay, that's a record. But if I've played more matches than Steve to beat that, then, you know, I'd much rather have Steve's record, you know. So that's how you look at the records.
I'd still go back to that. It's something I always go. I'd go back to the actual standard that Ronnie's playing in. The general standard is generally higher, so to keep those wins up, I think it matters more. I think the wins in today's game are a lot harder to get, so when you get them, you should value them more.
The longevity thing is something that I know that you're really interested in, and it's hugely admirable, because 17-year-old winning your first here, and you're turning, what, 44 later this
next week.
Yeah, exactly.
30th.
So, but, you know, since you won that 19th major, and achieved so much in the months afterwards, getting back to #1 and the 1,000 centuries and the 36 world ranking titles. It's been a fascinating 12 months in snooker because we've seen the rise of Judd Trump. And I just wonder how you assess his emergence, his dramatic emergence.
Surprised it took him so long, to be honest with you. I think most people are, you know. But I think once you do flick that switch, you kind of get 10 years, you know, to kind of like, you know, so it doesn't matter if you didn't do it in the 10 years. It's like a set of tyres. They've only got so much quality in them. And I think Judd will probably be, it's a bit like me, you know, I kind of was a bit hit and miss for the first part of my career, but you just savour that bit, so as when you can maybe get more longer out of your career. Probably a bit hard to go 20 years playing and winning everything, so I think you get a 10-year window. So I think he'll be looking now to, you know, to push on and maybe have, you know, that'll be his golden time, you know. And you know, it's just a breath of fresh air for snooker to watch him play. You know, he plays shots that nobody else can play. You know, he's reinventing the game, and I think for the new breed of players, they'll, you know, and not even the new breed of players, the current players, you know, your Selbys and your Dings, you know, and your Murphys, they're going to have to start to sort of, if they want to start getting amongst and trying to compete with each other, they're going to have to find ways to improve their game because, you know, he's certainly on a level higher than they are at the moment, you know. But, you know, a lot can happen in snooker, and you know, it's great to watch it unfold, you know.
Yeah, and you had first-hand experience of it, Northern Ireland Trophy, just a
yeah,
couple
I've done
of
well
weeks
to
ago.
get 7 frames. I come out there thinking, you know what, that scoreline had done me well.
But and in all honesty, I mean, you'd already won the Shanghai Masters earlier this season, and I wonder how you felt that performance actually equips you for coming here. Did you feel that was a really good performance? Because for everyone else watching, it was a great fight.
To be honest with you, I treated the, you know, the tournament, you know, if you watch every match, you'd see that I was probably a little bit more open than I normally would be, a little bit like I was today. So for me, it was just going there to enjoy it, have fun, and if I got a result, great. But if I didn't, I wasn't going to, you know, grind it out and try and, you know, spend 2, 3, 4 hours out there per session. You know, I like to get in and out quickly, whether you win or lose, and, you know, and stay fresh, you know.
A fascinating thing from Ronnie's perspective, if Judd does sort of go on to sort of start to play strong for a while, an interesting thing from Ronnie's is that he playing being the underdog is an unusual situation, but sometimes that's quite a nice position to be in as well.
Yeah, agreed.
I kind of like being a favourite, to be honest. I always enjoyed having that edge, you know, going into matches, you know, winning tournaments. But I get what Steve's saying, you know, but I'm never going to be an underdog. It's like a bit like Tiger Woods going out there. They're always going to think, is he going to do it today? So I'll always have that with me, you know, because people just know that you can play to that level. So it's a bit hard. So that's why I say it's hard for Steve and Stephen Hendry when they was late in their career, because he's still huge scalps, huge names in the game. So everybody just raises their game against them. So I don't think I'm going to be afforded that luxury. So I just have to keep digging in there and put my pride on the line.
Well, you do it so well, Ronnie, I must say. And it looks like it will be Noppon or Ant McGill in the next round. And last I saw, Noppon was 3-1 up, so that's the current state. But get a couple of days rest, and we'll see you in the next round.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Alrighty, we're going to go back into that match between Kyren Wilson and Marco Fu, and the last we